it's Nikki here. I'm here today to do my mid-year book freakout video. I've seen this going around BookTube a little bit and I wanted to do it as well. It'll be nice to kind of prep me to do my mid-year stats video, which I'm both looking forward to and terrified of because I've been crunching some numbers and trying to figure out how to like display everything, and man, does it feel like a science project from my university days. So some of these books I don't have. In those cases, I will put an image up on screen over here. This was co-created by two YouTubers. One was the channel Earl Grey Books. I can't remember the other channel off the top of my head, but I will include links below to credit both of the co-creators. If you're wanting to do it, that's who you credit for it. And I will now just jump right in. The first prompt is, what is your favorite book of the year so far? For me, this would be Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. You guys have heard me mention it a number of times, and it really was just a phenomenal fantasy book, and it just hit all the right notes for me, and it's been my favorite read of the year hands down so far. Question 2 is, what is your favorite sequel that you've read this year? This is another one I don't have, as with the first, and it is In an Absent Dream by Shanann McGuire. It is the 4th book in the series. I physically have a copy of the first book, and then after reading it, I loved it so much, I read the ebook copies from my library all in like a week. And the 4th one, In an Absent Dream, was probably my favorite one by far. Question 3, what's a new release or new releases that you haven't read yet that you want to? For me, I have a couple here. One is Night of the Dragon, which I have here. One is Night of the Dragon by Julie Kagawa. This came out maybe last month, 2 months ago, can't remember for sure. And I pre-ordered it. I was super pumped to get it, and I just haven't been in the mood for like a young adult fantasy novel with a bunch of episodic traveling in it. So I haven't picked it up yet. Another one that I want to read is The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel. I read Station 11 by her, absolutely loved it. So I'm excited to pick this up. There's another one. I got an ARC of it through a Goodreads giveaway. It's called Paris Never Leaves You. I have it somewhere, but my books are not particularly organized, so I don't know where it is. But that's another one that I want to read this year that came out recently. Question 4, what new release or new releases coming in the back half of the year are you excited to read? One that I'm excited to read is The Devil in the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. I just read The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle and adored it. So I'm super pumped for this to come out. I'm not 100% sure what the actual premise of the book is. I believe it has to do with this woman falling in love with the devil and kind of their relationship, but I don't know for sure. Regardless, Stuart Turton did an amazing job with The 7 Deaths, so I'm excited for the new book. I looked up to see what was coming in the back half of the year. Another one that I was really excited for it's called Well-Behaved Indian Woman. It's a multi-generational female family story. It's about 3 women from this Indian family and kind of their journeys, their struggles with their pasts, and kind of the roles that they're expected to fulfill within their family. And the 3rd book I'm kind of looking forward to, it's called Transcendent Kingdom. It's about a family, I believe, who moved to the southern states from Ghana, and it's kind of the story about this woman in her university career. She's struggling with the death of her brother, I believe, due to drug overdose, and kind of an exploration of her grief and like things surrounding drug addiction, I believe. Sounds really good. Now that I know it exists, I'm super pumped to read it. 5, what book has been the biggest disappointment for you this year so far? The video review for it will be coming out either the day this goes up or the day before this goes up, and it is Dr. Zhivago by Boris Pasternak. It has hands down been one of the most disappointing reads I've had all year. And I went into it with like the bar set not that high, but it still did not reach it. Question 6, what book has been the biggest surprise this year so far? And I would have to say it's actually one of the ones I read pretty early on in the year. I read it as an audiobook from the library, and it is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. I really wasn't sure what to expect. I didn't really know the premise of it that well, but after listening to it, I got hooked. I read the next couple books in the series, and I really fell in love with it, and it very much surprised me how much I enjoyed it, given how hesitant I was to pick it up. Question 7 is, who is your favorite new author? This can be either a debut author or a new to you author, and for me, I'm going to go with Adrian Tchaikovsky, specifically his Children of Time series. I read Children of Time at the beginning of May and adored it. It's probably one of my favorite sci-fi books I've ever read, and I followed it up by immediately reading the Children of Ruin, the sequel as an ebook from my library because I couldn't physically get it from the library. I liked both books. Adored the first one, second one was pretty good, and having never read his stuff before, I was shocked that I hadn't picked anything up, or even that I hadn't picked up the Children of Time sooner. Question 8, who is your new fictional crush? I don't have one. I've enjoyed a lot of the characters I've read, but no bookish crushes out of it, I guess. Question 9, who's your new favorite fictional character? And again, I've actually read a lot of good books, so I can't really pick a favorite. I know it sounds kind of like a parent saying I can't pick a favorite kid, but I enjoyed a lot of the books. I loved a lot of the characters, but there isn't one that just stands out to me as being the best or my favorite. Question 10, what book have you read recently that made you cry? And it's one of the books I read more towards the beginning of the year. It's called My Name is Leon. It's a super sad book. Follows a little boy who's been put into foster care after his mother has been determined to not be able to take care of him and his baby brother. Unfortunately for Leon, this book takes place in the 80s in London during the time of their race riots, and so his little brother, who is white, is adopted by a family. His little brother's also under a year, I believe, so that plus his skin color made him an easy pickup for a family looking to adopt a baby. With Leon, he is a biracial 6 or 8-year-old, and he's been the sole caregiver for his brother. And he just has a really rough time adjusting. He did luck out with his foster parent. She is an amazing woman. But there is so much of that book that I teared up so much with that book. It was written by Kit DeWall, if you're interested. Question 11, what book made you happy? This one was a little bit harder to pinpoint, unlike the Making Me Cry one. There's been a few books where I've just smiled the entire time I've read it, but the one that sticks out to me the most is probably one of my more recent reads. It was my book of the month for May, and it is The Wish List by Jane Costello. It was sweet, it was cute, I read it at a time where I really just wanted something light and fun and lovable, and that's what I got. Question 12, of the books you've bought, which one has the most beautiful cover? I actually forgot it in the living room. I know where this one is, I just don't have it with me here. It is The Three-Body Problem by Cixin Liu. It is a science fiction novel that was recommended by Books with Emily Fox, and I picked up a copy, but the one I got just has this beautiful, like, really minimalistic cover. If I can find a picture online, or if I find my book, I'll include a picture here for you. Very simple, very beautiful. Doesn't really tell you a lot about the book, but is aesthetically pleasing. Question 13, what books do you need to have read by the end of the year? I'm not gonna do individual book titles here because I have given myself the Goodreads reading challenge based after the reading challenge that Emily Fox does based on the Goodreads books of the year of the previous year. And so I've read a good chunk of them, but the list is like 60-something books long, and I have not read all of them yet. Those are the books I need to read. The 14th and final prompt is name a few of your favorite book community members. Two of my favorites are probably Murphy Napier and Emily Fox, Books with Emily Fox. That being said, I recently stumbled on a channel called Mina Reads that I've been enjoying. They all put out really good content. I super recommend checking them out. And with that, thank you for joining me with my mid-year freak out video, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye!